Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Right, today we got another dual core RDA, and this one is a co-collaboration between Augvape and Twisted Messes, and it's called the Occula. It was kindly sent over from Augvape for the purpose of this review, and here it is. We got the black version here with the gold drip tip there. We got the Asmodus Minican 3S sitting underneath. So let's not waste any more time. We're going to go down to the table, have a look around this one, put some cores in it, and then we're going to come back up top and vape it, and I'll tell you what I think of it. Okay, see you down there in a bit. Right, quick look at the box then. So we've got Occula written on there, we've got the logos at the top, see-through window, on the sides we've got Twisted Messes, and on the other sides we've got Augvape, and we've got Scratch and Check on this side. So it's a case of shaking this one open. Inside you'll find we do have a little instruction manual. It just tells you a little bit about it in a couple of different languages. It is a 24mm diameter RDA with a I believe it's 5mm juice well. It says it in French there. Where does it say it? Somewhere there you go. That's in English for you. Right, so presented like this, here's the main barrel, here's the deck, and we do get a baggie of spares, which does include an Allen key. We got a squonk pin there and a few O-rings. Now there's no grub screws in this particular one, but they are quite beefy ones, so I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. Right, here's the RDA then. We've got the black version, so it's not the best to show up on the camera, but we'll have a go anyway. So we have got an 810 fitting drip tip, really snug fit, all the O-rings on here, super tight tolerances, so I'll talk about that in a minute. So all your 810s are fit. You just see there we have got the O-ring around the top, so no worries there. We will put it on a natty stand in a minute and have a good look at the airflow, but you can just see on the side there we do have the Occula logo there, that is etched in, and we got the three like snake bite eyes, snake bite, whatever you want to call them, on the sides. On the bottom we've got the Occula logo going around the top. We've got Augvape, we've got Twisted Messes there, serial number, usual markings, and we've got a flathead screw for the negative post, and we've got the positive post there, which is gold plated with the peak insulator surrounding it, and it does protrude a little bit. It's not the best in the world in my opinion, so I'd always check to see whether you'd be happy to put it on a hybrid mechanical device, but like I say, it should really be protruding a little bit more than that, because you don't want to risk the positive and the negative, which is this part around here touching your battery. So if in doubt, don't use it. But let's put it on a little atty stand now. Right, so we've got it on the diddy gaff here. Just take this top piece off, because we have got two piece. So it's the AFC part of the barrel, so we've got a lovely bit of doming going on there, and we've got these two peculiar shaped like cutouts here, which means you can use it in single or dual core. So like I say, you got the airflow holes, 3 on either side, so it depends which way you have this, but if you have it like that, that's fully open on either side, and you can just twist this top cap round. And at the moment we've got this in dual core mode, so you can, like I say, partially block off one hole. What you adjust will be the same on the other, so we've got 2 holes open, so you can close off all 3, and then if you keep on going, you start to expose just the hole on the one side. So if you wanted it in single core mode, just mount the cord on this side. You can like have 1, 2 or 3 holes open in single core mode. So it is nice, but I'd strongly recommend lubing up your O-rings before you start using this one, because it is really tight, especially this base. And quick look inside there, because where are they? There are locating like stoppers just between there and there, and one on the other side as well, and they marry up with these notches on either side here. So it's much like the drop dead, that you can sort of spin the actual main barrel around to line the holes up in front of the coils. We'll talk about that a bit later on anyway. But here is the deck. So it says it's got a 5mm juice well. We do have the Occula branding around there then. Lovely beefy screws on this. This is what I like to see on an RDA. So you just see there, when you unscrew it does raise the clamps up. Right, so let's zoom right in on this then. So you can see that this one is the positive, because we do have the peak insulator that does surround it. You can just see the positive pin holding it in place. So this one is therefore your negative. So like I said before, we've got a 5mm juice well. There's your notches. We've got 2 O-rings around the bottom to help make the seal with the actual base. So let's just plug it back on. So what I tend to do is look for those, like the cutouts there with stops on, and then line it up, so sort of get it in between. It's a good idea to get some juice on these O-rings. Like I said, it is a bit, the tolerances are really tight on here, which is not a bad thing as such, but it's just quite a bit of a pain in the ass when you're on camera. Right, so once it's on, I've just taken the top cap on just to show you. You can actually swivel this, but if you've got juice on it, it makes it a little bit easier. But you can sort of turn it around just there, so you can see that it alters the line. So if you did just have like 2 of the holes shut off, you can line it up so it's just in front of the coils. So say those 2 there would just be in line with it after you've done your build. And that is very similar to the drop dead. And then when you want to take it off the mod, the stop will like catch it there, and then it should just come off. It's a little bit tight, this one. It's better when it's all lubed up and that. But let's throw a little build in it now. So we are going to use the coily tool today. I've got a nice silver one here with the MF Vape logo on. You can purchase these from Facebook if you want the personalised ones. Do check out the Coily Facebook page, and there's also a group you can join. Here's the regular one. Now you can get these blue ones and various other colours in injection moulded, which you can buy from lots of vendors around the globe. And we've also got the red one here as well. So unfortunately, when I cut my legs, I didn't press record on the camera, but basically I've cut them to 6.5mm. So anyone that's unfamiliar, you basically, if you've got the core with the long legs on it, basically put it in just like that. Get your cutters and then cut them down flush, and it just makes sure you get a nice even cut. Especially good for postless decks, but also for decks such as this one, because we're sharing the same post. It just makes life a little bit easier. Right, so I loosened off my clamps, as you can see there, and I've put both the coils in. I've got a coiling rod on the other side there, and you can also put another coiling rod in as well. Just sort of hold them in place just like that, and then just get your screwdriver and tighten down the clamps.
Baby, feed my pain. I'm smiling all night at you. Nothing makes me feel like you do. The effect of you. Is it voodoo? Is it voodoo? It's like a hurricane twisting around inside of my brain. Tell me, honey, do you feel the same? We'll catch that train to a higher plane. Feelings running untamed. Let's not give the thing a name. Your smile gets through my day when things don't go my way. I'm tapping obscene, been to places you wouldn't dream. Something warmed me in the end, gonna drive me around the bend.
Right, get it in front of the coils just like that. Get those lined up. Happy with that. And that's it, that's your AFC on as well. So that's the Occula RDA, cooled and wicked up. So let's go back up top and I'll tell you what I think about it. Right, back up top with the Occula RDA. What are my thoughts for this one then? Right, as ever, we're going to talk about the fit and finish and build quality first with this particular RDA. Now, when you first get this one, the O-ring tolerances are so tight, it's unbelievable. In fact, I had a job even lubing this one up to get this drip tip in there. Now I've got it in there, it's hard to get it out, but see if I can push it back in again. It's just the tolerances are just a little bit too tight in my opinion. If we put another one on though, like this green one, that fits on there perfectly, and all the other ones I've tried apart from the one that comes with it fit on it perfectly, which is a little bit peculiar. But anyway, I don't particularly like it. It's a little bit too low profile for me, and it doesn't fit all that great, so we're going to leave it off for the rest of the review. But as far as the fit and finish goes, we've got no rough edges, anything like that. The paintwork's all stayed on here. I've had this for a good couple of weeks or so. We got the nice logo on there, which is still in black, so it's not in your face or anything. I think these airflow holes look pretty sick as well. Pretty goon-esque, I would imagine, but I've never owned an OG goon. But yeah, I've got the Recoil Rebel that uses similar type, what they called the snakebite airflow. But as far as the other O-ring tolerances, right, let's take this off. I've had to just leave one O-ring on there, and you can see it's pretty snagged as well, because having the two on there, I just could not get the bloody cap on, even by lubing it up and everything, and I was finding it's just too tight. Even if I try and put this one on, it's okay with one O-ring, but like I say, it's being mangled a little bit, that O-ring is. So I just think the tolerances are a little bit too tight with this particular RDA. I'm not sure if it's just my one or not, but yeah, there you go. With the airflow control, that's a little bit tight as well. It's someone with dexterity issues isn't going to enjoy using this RDA, put it that way. But yeah, so, but the build quality is pretty good apart from that. It's just the O-rings are too tight and the tolerances are too tight in my opinion. So we've got the build deck though, very well put together. We got some humongous screws in there and the clamps work very well. Building on here is an absolute pleasure. We got a pretty shallow juice well on there, but I've had no issues with this one leaking in dripping mode or in squonking for that matter. Now, one good feature about this though is the let's get this back on, the fact that it has got locks on it, so you can spin the, if we just put all the airflows open, you can spin it round, much like the Drop Dead and the Recurve Dual, which I've recently reviewed. You can spin it round so the airflow is directly in front of the coil. Because if you did like knock one or two of the airflow holes down, just look through the drip tip and you can just spin the barrel across to make sure it's hitting the coil still. So that's awesome. I think all RDAs should be doing that these days, and it does work very well. Like I say, with just the one O-ring on the bottom, no problems, but it is still a little bit too tight. The tolerances are all across the board for this particular one. Let's have a little toot on it though and stop rabbiting. Because after all, what we're interested in really is vape quality and flavour. So we've got it at 73 watts and we are going to put it wide open. Let's just put that in the right place again. Somewhere around about there, I think. Nice smooth airflow that. Because we got it wide open, I'm going to crank it up a little bit. Put up to 90. A little bit more turbulence, but it's still an awesome draw you're getting on it, and a very good hit and great flavour from this one. Right, what's the restriction like with it fully open? Obviously it depends what size coils you put in here and also the cotton, but the build that I'm using is a 0.13, the one that we had down below. There is a bit of restriction there as well. It's probably a 7.5 to 8 out of 10, with 10 being the widest open, 1 would be a super tight vape. So let's just knock off one of the airflow holes now, and we're going to put it in front of the coils. Try to anyway. Wattage will have to go down a little bit more, 75. I like it with just the one hole shut off. Nice smooth draw. It's not the smoothest in the world, but it's just a nice bit of restriction then. Getting slightly better flavour from it, of course, as well. It's not as smooth the airflow as a honeycomb airflow by any means, but I still like vaping on this one. It is really nice, but we're going to give it another little drip now. Give it a little bit more juice. We can restrict it down one more hole just so you can hear the airflow. Knock the wattage down to 65. As ever, I find it a little bit too restrictive, especially with the coils I've got in here, but it is still smooth, the airflow in with just the one hole open. Anyway, let's go up to 80 watts and let's give you a flavour rating. No doubt about it, this one is a really good RDA for flavour. I would say it's a good 8.5 to 9 out of 10. It's not quite as good as my recurve jaw that I've recently reviewed, but it's a different sort of draw. This is a bit more airy, and it's a little bit more intense, the vape on it. I find with the recurve jaw, it's a little bit more gentlemanly, the vape I get from this one. This one's a little bit more in your face, but it still gives cracking flavour. If I'm explaining that very well, I don't know. But yeah, the flavour is really good on here. I'm just a little bit disappointed about the O-ring tolerances though, so I might have to try it out with some other O-rings that I've got knocking about. But for me, it's just that little bit too stiff, especially when you've got two O-rings on the bottom. If you just leave the one, it's fine, but like I say, this O-ring's starting to bugger up a little bit. So yeah, that's not very good really, because I've only had it a couple of weeks. It shouldn't really be doing that. But like I say, I'm not sure it's just my one or whether it's across the board. You'd have to watch other reviews on it. But as far as the looks go, I think it looks pretty decent. It looks pretty pucker on this Minicum 3S. The vape draw is really nice draw you're getting from it, and it has got cracking flavour. So yeah, I'll leave it up to you on whether you go out and buy this one or not, but I'd like to watch some other reviews and find out about the O-ring tolerances to see if it's across the board or whether it's just my one. So thanks very much for watching, and a big thanks to Augvape for sending over for a review. It is very much appreciated. Now, I've got my own website. It's mfvape.co.uk, and you can also find me on social media. All the links are below the video. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Okay, cheers.